This happened to be on. I don't know who it is, but I'll allow it. Do a little blend. It's not like I'm only happy when it rains. I could have made a junk load of people really fucking agitated if I just did nothing but parodies. I can make real rap music and I can make it a hip hop song. If you can't hear that fucking copyright crap. Anyway, so the chorus involving the word parody. Give me a minute, I'll give you a parody. Give me a minute, I'll make you on a parrot scene. I'm no serious. Actually, give it some thought. Freestyle chorus. Ready, set, don't go. That's actually probably taken. What has not... Okay, in the English language, and not only that, I'll actually get on a real subject right now. It has to do with the Christian faith. Now, it's not just the Christian faith. This is like coming of age of someone in a Christian faith. You know, where you don't have a midlife crisis and you're not trying to date anybody half your age. Because from certain angles, I look as though I'm in my 20s. They've actually almost screwed up complete cases being off by 10 years. And when I was in my early 20s, I looked pretty much the same as I do now. And I'm in my late 30s. Something about, like, if you knew what I did, trust me, I didn't do it to the extreme that everybody it's actually kind of sad. A lot of dearly loved people are missed or missing, missed or missing, because they went a little too hard, a little too long. But having to do with this thing about, it's not really an epiphany. This was culminating over a period of time. Is that popular, imagine pop being popular, that was enough to create a Christian frenzy on all angles. And it wasn't, you don't even know you are Christian. I don't want to on the spot think, because the camera is rolling and I'm not going to waste too much time getting to it. But the choruses and the hooks and the repetitive crap, like things that would normally be a bridge or part of absolutely normal dialogue, is like I don't know, some chorus that's been around for 40 years, and you can't say like oh man, that was Heartbreak Hotel. It's the only Elvis song I can sing, and only part of it. Just for example, just part of it. I can't think. I don't know too much pop song. Look at that, you're popular. Like, no, give it another. That's like waiting for your numbers to come in another country to come back. It's been over a year. Your ticket's null and void, no longer any good. But I was on a cruise in Bahumany. Anyway, so the beginning of this was going to have to do with the term "over my dead body." And I don't know, let the bodies hit the floor. If it were to do with that, how many people could you put on a list? I'm not saying you write it in lipstick on the mirror before they get home and then disappear. But just I've watched way too many Adam Sandler movies. Oh, my paranoia had me feeling like a poster child will feel like that, and I was in many circumstances a poster child. And the thing to do with that is that I'm not the only one. And I'm not the poster child of the poster children. I don't know what the term "children of the corn" means, but I've heard a lot of things about corn-fed Jesus and this and that, and I'm like, whatever. The kid's name, the term came out of the mouth of a guy that I know has the appropriate spelling and pronunciation of Jesus's original angel-given name, which means the Lord saves. But they don't say it like that. It's just spelled the same. Do your own research. Uptick on me. I learned that on TV. I'm going to write a hook about upticks. I'm not writing hooks. I don't do that. That's like saying, I'm going to put up a stripper pole. Fucking, you know what I mean? I actually got offered a job. Didn't get offered. I asked for the job, and they took me into consideration and said, show up Monday night for a DJ. Well, to start, I didn't even know how to use the equipment. I was like, if you show me how to use that equipment, I did know how to make beats with my equipment when I had some or whatever, and it was really good. But I'm not here to make beats. Most people went on to, well, if I bought a CD in the first week, it went platinum. That's not always true, but it turns out that people still like the CDs that I had, and I couldn't even afford CDs. So it was like, for a lot of people, it's hit or miss whether or not they got cool CDs. I had all, not all the cool CDs, but the only ones I had were either stolen and given to me, or which contained a few that were pretty cool. I don't say. I listened to like 2 track. I used to hate when they used to make 2 tracks on a CD that were worth bumping, even when your mom's home, and then the rest of it was just filler. And I'm like, oh, whatever. Just let it play. Like, and I don't know. It just pissed me off. And then when they wouldn't print the lyrics in the cassette tapes, I only had a few cassette tapes, but when they would not put the lyrics in the cassettes, I was like, they're putting a hit out on the kids. But that thing about being a poster child or whatever like that is I don't want to disclose too much personal like medical information about myself, but it's a particular medical information. It's not a disability. It's a rarity, and it has to do with my blood type. So like if you were to make it look like I tried to kill myself, the thing is, if I were to actually try to kill myself, I think I would have actually gotten it done the first time, and there's statistics about that. I was actually just literally last year thinking about it because I was like, I've seen everything, I've met a lot of people, and I realized that most of the people that kill themselves were pretty cool and couldn't understand what the hell was going on out there. One guy I just heard speak at a meeting, I'm not going to say his name, I'm not going to say where, but he was like, yeah, I ended up in the hospital for an attempt, and now he's sober X amount of months or years or whatever. He's one of the cooler guys. Um, so I'm glad he's around, I guess, if he's happy. Um, but I've lost a lot of friends. Some of them were not close to me, but we were not enemies, and they killed themselves. And but I don't want to go be with them. No, I don't miss anybody that much. Um, uh, people, they like, I can never replace you. I was like, bet. And I'm like, I've lost this side of like, some people would tell me to shut up. And then, like, some people, once they got big, right? Because I'm actually one of the smallest guys in, like, pretty much all the crews I used to hang out with that I would associate a lot with and get into fights with. But, that's neither here nor there. It's just, I'm a little bit bigger than average. I'm just not a whaler. I'm big enough to have played for the Whalers. I just didn't know how to skate too well. I didn't learn until I was like 11. You're way behind if you do that. But over my dead body, and you know who came? The reason this is so imperative is because most of my friends will know better, and this can turn into a punchline because it's old as clay. How's your mom? I'm like, only I got. They don't say it anymore. I go, yo, listen. The one person who asks me how she is all the time knows that it gets under my skin because this is what I figured out about 10 or 15 years ago is that she was trying to outlive me. And I'm not talking suicide. She's suicidal from time to time. Anyway, but so from time to time she voices it. People don't voice that if they're not really thinking that. Oh, that would just be the end all cure all. I think the term is. And I was thinking about over my dead body. I was like, that's going on her gravestone. And I thought about it. I go, who's got to say over her firstborn son and the one she's trying to outlive? And because I was thinking about it in the kitchen while I was waiting by the microwave while it was on to warm up my coffee, because certain things are not necessarily genetic, but they're psychologically instilled into the youth. I've known how to make a good cup of coffee since I was 18. Um, but anyway, there's certain things I'm grateful for my mom, her working like a slave in the dungeon to, no, she never, I'm not going to badmouth her. She's like, oh, you're always badmouthing me to your friends. I was like, listen, I just stay far away from the subject, and trust me, I've got tons of nice things that I can make up about you when you're not around. Anyway, that's about as far as it goes. But the fact of the matter is, I'm like, who's going first here? Because she's got this like claw on my money and all this kind of thing. They're trying to make me look like Britney Spears, and I'm sitting here and fucking nobody wants to play with me anymore. I was like, yo, I had the coolest room this side of fucking Georgia. Okay. And I'm like, why am I sitting here? I got pictures of all these queers. No, I'm just playing. But no, I had all those milestone moments. Um, like a normal, all that rare thing. I'm in certain milestone moments of like a poster child or whatever. Had those and been there, done that. I got more close but no cigar awards than you could possibly fucking imagine right across the top. And the bucket list, this is the thing about that 15%. Like, hang in there. There's something waiting. And it's going to be better than Hitler. I guarantee. You might live through something similar if you're anything like me. And this is actually sound principle based in fact. It's not sound principle. It's sound principle that this may occur to you if you have a rare blood type. Because historically, 85% of the people in psych asylums, insane asylums, was because they had a rare blood type and therefore a reaction to other people and trends and things like that. And the type of blood type that this is the one that History Channel's going on and on about, star seeds and fucking like advances. Trust me, I get more shit uh, just naturally than they're like in the trail or wake of these people are like monoliths and everything. They're like, in other words, the pyramids in Egypt were more certainly not done neither how they thought, by who they thought, or for what they thought. And they're finding that out after I've already figured out 3 different ways to do it without any human assistance. Um, but what for? I didn't know. They're like power plants. I was like, oh, that was one of the ideas I had, but they don't have any surviving. I was like, oh, like all the stuff that we want to throw away on a daily basis, so that nobody ever fucking finds out how to ever do that again. You know what I mean? I'm like, just no, seriously, on the wise. You know, it's cool, kid. It's cool. I trust you. If you're gonna need it in 10 minutes, don't throw it away without consulting. I hope there's I hope there are at least 15 that's watching this, because if this is fucking entertaining, dude, I don't even want to address the subject. Um, hmm, 12 minutes 45 seconds. Uh, the thing is ancient monoliths. Some of them look like an alien the size of a dinosaur came down and just took an intelligent crap on this earth. If you really think about it, the demise of this planet does not have to be intelligent. It does not. It could be a fucking worm the size of Kansas that just loves blue. And I'm like, my eyeballs. I don't know, any crazy shit like that. I was like, yep. I was thinking earlier, I was like, oh, my dead body was not what I wanted to get at. It's not the intelligent masochist, but although more intelligent than your average bear humanoid, I don't do it on. What the hell I have to do? My blues the least occurring in nature. That's not it. Oh, having to do with fire or flame actually being the direct result of spark with oxygen. Oxygen. So all those stars are surrounded by oxygen. If not hydrogen, which you need to make water, oxygen, because flame is there's without oxygen there's no flame that we know of. You know, I got tons. I'm in touch with my feminism. Bend over. No, oh my god, it's so scary. I love Connecticut for that one reason. There's nobody in jail who's gonna fucking. You never know. And it, but, nah, it was a fucking day camp. But, oh, they had monoliths following these people. They got all kinds of names for them and everything. The sad story is that I probably could not get a blood transfusion because only 15% of the human species is negative, Rh negative, the rhesus gene, not rhesus like monkeys. Something about the monkey blood in a rabbit, a rhesus monkey blood in a rabbit would kill it or something like that. So like there's something that has to do with the birthing process that the if there's a Rh negative female pregnant with an Rh positive human, her system will kill the fetus because it contains certain pathogens. So we would react very strangely to needles when they would ask for our rare blood in order to release us from the psychiatric equation. We carry like antibodies where they carry like antigens or something like that. Nowadays, the baby can survive or something, or they would be swelled up and inflamed and therefore killing the mother and also the child frequently. And nowadays, they can plan a C section and all that kind of stuff. But uh, of the negative types, you have A, B, and O. And one of them, mine's more rare or whatever. It's like the rarest one. And this old Italian guy, Catholic, I suppose, just because how old he is and he's Italian, um, circumstance or whatever. He's like, dude, if you donated blood, the nuns would worship you. He was speaking literally. I'm like, let me see, what do they pay? And I was just out of curiosity. He's like, oh, I don't know. Because I know that there's jokes, and I'm not going to tell it because it was in Maxim Magazine. It was the only funny joke they had. And there's certain things you'll say when you're drunk, supposing you do ever get drunk. And the Bible can defend you, so long as it's not a habit to get that fucking drunk. But, when you've got one friend left and you're on opposing cliffs and you only know like, I go, I want to donate blood to save no one. I'm Bug. No, my friend's Bug, but I used the nickname when I was in the psych ward because I was like my job there because I get spending money to do it. $8 an hour. I was like, it's better than wage. I could do it better than anybody else. It needed to be done. Well, I was like, I'm like a bug. Yeah, I come up out of a rug. Well, I was like, you have to be there. Trust me, you don't want to. That's what I was like, closest I ever came to killing another human being, ever, ever at all. I never had the will or desire to. I'd be like, that guy'd be brought behind the barn. And it had been years, I'm talking decades, since literally more than 20 years since I ever thought about actually killing an individual that I have encountered. And I go, this ain't right, man. I came here better than I am now. And fucking, I explained that to him, and I was like, this is a psychiatric fucking facility, and they've been investigated for abuses and shit. People got fired. Some people went to jail or one. I was like, that's not even the guy. But I was on this particular ward for well more than half a year. And it was like the legal representative was talking to me. He's like, you're the only one here I can talk to. And there's only a certain amount of things he can say. Being that he was from the Department of Justice and shit like that. And I was like, I know you can't say anything, but I think you're talking about me in regards even to the workers here. And I was like, believe me, I do get that, considering what the doctor is doing, and no one's technically anyone else's boss at a state hospital. It's all compartmentalized, the authority. I mean, you can appeal through the phone to another person, whatever, payday they get in the same line, probably ain't even true. But, I don't know, that place was crazy. You can only see certain parts of it on satellite. So, a lot of people who had a rare blood type would literally, because of certain types of exposures, end up in the psych ward. Or the majority of people who were there had a rare blood type. And they're finding out now. So, and this is the thing, the treatment of others is for decades. Let's cut it up into decades. What happened in the 50s, even if exposed, investigated, and found out may not happen again for 10 years, but they're not going to admit every single case that happened in the 50s. The 60s for that demographic of people, the 60s will be better for that demographic of people. It'll happen to a different demographic of people within that 15% of the world, supposing you're speaking of this demographic, but I'm seeing patterns here all over the place. They don't have to come from the sky. By the way, Beautiful Mind's a piece of shit. I can explain that entire film. I don't care if he's alive to fucking know about it. Whatever. I seen that it was not genius how he won the not Pulitzer, Nobel Prize for Economics. It was not genius, and that's just moving on. So one demographic will actually, and they'll just cover it up. They'll cover it up. All the individual claims will be covered up unless they're actually named as a plaintiff or something like that. Imagine doing this in the 50s. Like, yeah. Oh, and you're divorced? Okay, breadline. I was like, as far as I know, and what they, in my very own family, on one side, they stole a baby from the Catholic hospital, gave it up for adoption. He turned out to be college professor or whatever out in the Midwest. I live in Connecticut. Man, it ain't all good all the time. I was like, I don't wonder where they got the term Idlewild having to do with Georgia, because there's this reputation on one side of Mason Dixie and on the other is that go to Connecticut on vacation, stay on probation. And I'm serious about that. They say the same thing about Georgia. But in Georgia, they don't even lock you up for misdemeanors. They don't even lock you up for misdemeanors. Be on probation for a better part of a quarter century, probably in any state, but maybe not. They just, oh, and about whether or not 15% of the world wants to even go into a hospital at all, because they're probably allergic to those themselves. The dust, the concrete, the stainless steel, all that stuff. Actually, probably allergic to it. Certain things they can dump in their body, like their fucking canister for it, and live to be 80 or 90. I don't know. So I talk about a lot of things with other people a lot. I could probably get them on camera, but I don't necessarily want to be associated with a lot for various reasons, either for them and also for myself. They make me look good, and that's not good. Um, fucking, would you do you even see that? Trust me, PTSD. I was like, if I got my hair spiked back, like I ain't got a haircut, it's slicked back because I ain't got a haircut. It was spiky when I was a kid. And then I would go get a haircut at your mom's salon. No, thank you. Slick it back, right? Greaser style. And I was like, hey, Arnold. Like, whatever. It's fucking. You don't know if you actually ever had a chance to look. Anyway, other people probably don't see the same color the same way as you do, to varying degrees. I met somebody who was colorblind, and I heard dogs see no color. I don't know if that was a sociological joke. Fucking humans have better sense of smell than dogs. But I met a colorblind guy. He was my teacher. He was okay. He had at least an eighth grade vocabulary. Uh, Not compared to the guy before. But fucking, he probably had a doctorate by now, I hope. If not, there's something wrong. Student loans or some fucking interest on a loan for an education. That's not very interesting. I had this theory, long running. I don't know if God's ever considered it, but like come back like Horatio Sands with like a million angels and just dig up everything all the way back to the beginning and make you watch. Like, put your nose in it in front of all the people who literally kept their hands to themselves. Laying hands on people. Is that what you really do? Or is that what Jesus did? Or is that what they did to Jesus? If you read the black and white, whether or not they laid hands on somebody, I don't really know. Because in the New Testament further on, I can't tell you chapter and verse, but I do know that you can find this in a browser. The law of do not touch. And I wonder where that law is to be mentioned in the New Testament. The law of do not touch. I was like, I think I know what that means in English, Professor. You want to give me a break? I was like, the first object, probably the last, yeah, right. I told my brother from another mother, uh, there's no hiding. He's got his own business. He's fine. He doesn't have to grovel anymore. I told him how to shoplift good enough as an infant that he went on at 11 years old and he was not told to do this. I taught him for survival purposes because the things that were going on, he and I were going to have to hit it. And fucking, he knocked off Walmart for a fucking $1,000 worth of paintball guns before he got caught. And all of a sudden, there's this wave across the country of fucking Walmart paying their security $20 an hour, and their cashier's like $4. So fucking, I don't know, maybe, I don't. Anyway, what did that have to do with the price of tea in Laos? Yeah, no. It's fucking, oh, first object I ever stole. 4 chocolate bars in one wrapper. Kit Kat, give me a break. Now, if anybody wants to be a wise ass, this is my idea solely and exclusively without permission from the NFL. If anybody remembers Caramello from like 1987, a genuine 30-second commercial just going stretch it out, literally all over again, 30 seconds. I told you, you don't want to pay me to make hooks because it'll be about you. You won't even know about it. Caramello. And I was like, in a normal conversation, I was like, yeah, like Caramello, babe. There's things you'll say when you're drunk that you think are funny. They are funny, but only to other people who are drinking heavily. Remember that shit you said about your mom? What'd you say about my mom? I was like, in front of people who ain't drinking, what did he say about your mom? It's like, where do you live? I was like, top floor of Hades. No, my place is way nicer than hell. I'll tell you that much. Way nicer. Mm-hmm. This is true, sir, I reckon. It is way better. Oh, and hell, by the way, is a dry heat. Okay. Anybody told you likewise? Liar. Not from hell, unless they're just lying. If they told it's a dry heat, I guarantee you, it's a dry heat. You'll know when you get there. If you get there, you'll know where you are right away. It doesn't have to get dirty, but it is. It's not funny, dude. Literally, don't want to go there. Not even for it. Depending on the frequency of the occurrence, the events may transpire. I was there for 3 seconds. If you went there for an hour, I'm gonna have to read some of these books. I'm not paying for them. If you want to rip the cover off the book about the guy who wrote that all the details or something about him being in hell, if it ain't quick and fucking done deal about the trip into hell, I guarantee you, he would not think of anything clearly ever again if you were there for 30 minutes. Some people talk about 23 minutes. So 3 minutes, you won't roll over when you wake up. You won't gasp for air either. And you might gasp for air. Actually, a lot of people see heaven and hell have to die to do that. I did not die, but I have been in heaven. It was not too fucking peaceful, I'll tell you that much. It was definitely like 1,000 rock concerts on blast and 400 sheets of acid, all for like you can see everything all the way to the end, and everything is all good. And not everything flows through, but the power source, the energy, dude, it's like a wave of. I wouldn't say warm. It's actually more of a cool energy, but definitely not pulsating. It's just a steady wave, like water, like wind, water, warm wind, cool water flowing, and it's like a yellow, gold, white, and I kind of remember a tinge of magenta, but like colors they didn't have prior to the '60s or something like that in crayons, maybe occurring in nature or something like that. Somebody told me that took acid. She's like, "Oh, you see colors." She's like, "I went to Woodstock in 1969," and it's like, "Yo, I believe it now. I believe that occurrence. I believe that Woodstock did happen in 1969." Fucking oh, yeah, it's about that. It's a good time to stop. I got plenty more. I was gonna make a cartoon, but I can't draw. I was like, I was gonna write no jokes, but I'm not funny. And oh, come on, stop downing yourself. Get out. You'll get out of your rut. I was like, but I like the rut. um, so I was gonna try to make a comic strip. The comic strip may succeed. I would say prevail. Dr. Balencio. And his guy would not be fucked up no matter what substance the characters, creatures, or beings, or intelligent humans that were surrounding him or just happened to catch out of the corner of their eye. That he fell and just ended up like this in all different amazing types of ways. But for reasons that you would have to identify with, like how did he land upside down with a cigarette smoking up out of his nose? A weird sound like that. Why did he just put that in his lip? Like, I don't know where my nose done been. I don't know where that scar's from. You ever dated a chick that had an eyebrow ring before you met her? Alright, keep her. She's a gem. The kid can go, but no, I'm just kidding. I never said that. No, I never would say that. Matter of fact, I don't have kids because I'm smart enough to have never said that. It's like, oh, I'm with that guy till the end. He don't even like kids. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. Some bullshit rhetoric you might hear if you have to actually engage the professional community. It might not make sense at first, but they tell you to be open minded. And for lack of a better term, that means to contemplate something which is beyond that which you already know, not contrary to what you've always known, trusted, and believe because you were taught when you were four. Because chances are that's what they believed when they were four. And they still believe it even though they're 20. And I was like, but looking back, what I believed when I was 20 was not what I believed when I was. I believe everything I hear. And it all made sense. Anyway, I believe that was traffic. No, I'm wedged in between. There's really not a lot of traffic where I am. I was starting to think, I was like, there's not a lot of cops around here. I was like, let's make a scene. Trust me, I don't want to make a scene. Not like the last place I had. I had to kick people out, but I didn't want to. Uh, what it is like, I gotta paint, and I was like thinking about what I'm gonna do to make a living. Automatically, every other turn that I go around was like, not anymore. And it's like I just fucking let it go. Like someone is gonna do that, and if they're not going to do what you propose, you might as well become a politician. Okay? And then just tell them that they're allowed to do a certain amount of things tomorrow. And whether or not it's true, I don't know. It's what they want to do. They think that they have to be told because historically, throughout the eons, this is what has been true. Or so I've been told. But you don't believe that Jesus wore sandals, shoes, or boots. I'm like, I don't know. Different. They're all written by people. I was like, that's what he told them to do. I'm like, I don't know. I know it defies logic. It really does. The reasoning, the stone tablets out of a hand in the sky. Does it say hand? I have to look it up. Whether or not Moses broke it over a stone, and God wrote two. And I'm like, all right, did he break it over his knee? Was Moses the incarnate of God, is what I suppose, or what he intended to be? And that might not have worked. Kill the motherfucker. I was like, did I create these people so that I could lay a smackdown on them? Should I come down here and get a little melancholy retarded quick and get fixed up, real jazz up, and fucking full flex to 45? And like have a second coming inside of my life and then challenge every quark in the world all the way up to 225, and then be like, man, I quit. I just mopped up half the universe. And all of a sudden, this little guy, fucking Muay Thai, tries to kick you in the shins, breaks it, and you fall on him and he dies. I don't know. You can't plan for stupid. And I'm not talking about that show, Joan of Arcadia, because, like I said, you can't plan for stupid. That shit was you can't. I just like the term. You can't plan for stupid. You can't plan for stupid. One guy I was like, man, I'm thinking I'm gonna rip these teeth right out. Not with pliers. I'm gonna pay a guy, a dentist, formerly known as the most suicidal profession there is. I go, I was like, I like the dentist though. I'm like, I was like, every 6 months, school every 6 weeks. I'm like, fucking, was a kid, fucking, are you giving him something? I was like, don't ask me. I'm like, no, I didn't need anything. And I was like, you gotta do what you gotta do. And it's, so this guy is just like a producer and all this stuff. And he's got over 1 million spins and all that. And I grew up with him, Nutty Professor as. And he's like, don't pull out your teeth and put in new ones. He's like, those are character or whatever. Those are fucking your character. They're part of you. And I'm like, yeah, all right. It's fucking, you know what it's like too. Don't get into all that shit with him because anyway, I'll take your word for it. Everything he told me to do, I did. Then he turned around and did the contrary. Not everything, but a lot of things having to do with philosophy. And I do and don't regret it, depending on how much I think about it. But he wasn't around when I was collecting sports cards, and I threw those in the dump. After I looked up the value, and they had actually gone up a reasonable amount, and I realized they were printing money at Beckett or whatever, and all those conglomerate tops, Donruss, Flair, Upper Deck. There's a few. There's probably a bunch more, but they basically print money like a casino, and I think they'd be shut down and sued by everybody who's got any evidence that they played part as a child in the marketing scheme. Because they're talking about paying pro players such as NCAA players of yesteryear and today. I don't know. Retroactive, I don't know. They could never pay back what it was, but they can drain their pockets. You could drain your pockets at any time. No, it's somebody else's. I don't care. It's not yours, one way or the other. It's not. See, if you're a criminal, all right, then go to jail and drain your pockets. You know what I mean? It's not necessarily about making things better for who has been harmed. It's making things better for the people who get to sit around and laugh while you go wander in the streets looking for baseball cards to get rich. Proof is in the pudding. Everybody knows I had those fucking baseball cards. They cannot be found unless they're in the dump. And yes, they're probably water damaged. Pretty much every one of them, if you were to look for them. Only total in all, say 3 or 4 thousand total. That's including at least 23 Michael Jordan cards. As a matter of fact, there was 33 or 34 or 35. I stopped collecting when I was 12 or 13. No, 14. I went to reform school freshman year, and I was like done with baseball cards. And I only bought like a couple more packs. I actually pulled a Kevin Garnett die cut upper deck rookie card the first year that they ever had die cut cards, and I sold that for $10 before he joined the Celtics. It was valued at 20 by Beckett. Some kid at a tag sale. My mom used to throw tag sales. I was 30. I was in my 20s, looked 30 something, balding, and fat as a fucking. I looked like I came out of the sea. It was really bad. Anyway, I was fucking sold it $10. He cherry picked my fucking collection. Fuck. I should have sold him the whole thing for $10. Oh. Anything that I'm forgetting about, except for, oh, go figure. The car I wanted that cost retail around the time, well, the years prior to me throwing them out. But graduation year, the car that I was promised 3 times by a man who's not rich was actually well off, more so than the average person back then, too. He promised me an 87 Formula that he was driving since I was 4, when I was 6, again when I was 10, and then when I was 15. But there was a condition at 15: just listen to your mom. And I was like, are you serious? And I didn't live up to any of those conditions. And so I was like, it's only like a $3,400 car. And fucking so only, right? Proof is in the pudding here. To nothing. Pudding, like Jello, not pudding or Jello. I don't know. Uh, if you make that stuff and put it on your nose, you can use it like Biore. Heard from somebody else on YouTube. Uh, Works just as good as Biore, I guess. I was trying to think of how to make it thinner, like more stringent. I imagine alcohol in the mix, maybe. Uh, Sterile or sterate or something like that. Alcohol sterate. So anyway, that car sold. That guy, my uncle, sold to my stepdad. The only other person I thought about ever killing in my life when I was like 7, 8, 9 years old, 10, 11 years old. There was a divorce. I did pray for the divorce. I was not upset about creating the divorce. I perpetuated the divorce. We left them. Um, they used to sit us down all the time. It's not your fault. I was like, don't even know. Like, why'd you stay after class when all your friends are going to fuck off and fucking tell me about your feelings? I was like, you got 10 minutes. Cover up. She used to wear mini skirts and drive a Mustang. It was crazy. She probably looked good when she was 12. I was thinking when I was 12. Like, hey, what do you call black? No. What do you call 10 blondes with braces in a Volkswagen convertible? A Black and Decker Becker record. No, but seriously, what was funny was why do blondes like convertibles? More leg room. Anyway, that was funny back when I was like in 5th grade. I'm telling you, what you can't say I would kill there. You can't do that. And that's not funny unless you live through it. Because when you share that common bond, I don't know, it's not funny anyway, whether or not you like it. The people that used to joke about blowing up the school were the furthest away from the school whenever the fire alarm went off. Smoke break.